of Minnesota. Never clean your gutters again. Learn more at gutterhelmetmn.com.
All right, let's get the top 5 at 5 going. We will talk World Cup soccer. Our guy, the official World Cup correspondent of the Bumper to Bumper program, Brett Blakemore, at the bottom of the hour. They're calling this, I'm all confused, breaking news, Bucks trading Giannis to Heat. Am I missing something in the bit here? In all seriousness. On the screen right now.
Oh, that it's breaking?
Yeah. So is this like...
That would be a stretch of breaking news.
That's like total and utter manipulation and exploitation of it. Unless I'm missing something, right?
I don't think you are.
So, you see that the way they're presenting it, the headline, yeah.
Yes, I'm
Bucks
watching the exact
trading.
same. Well, maybe they're
Silly me. I thought we heard that last night.
I thought we did too. Maybe they're wondering. People just turned on the TV for the first time. It happens. People miss things.
Okay.
People miss things. Okay. They might not know exactly what happened, so maybe there's a little bit more urgency.
All right, where would you like to begin today?
Ironically, that's where I wanted to start because we have not talked about that at all. Obviously, that's the trade that is rocking the country, the National Basketball Association. Here, obviously, we're talking about the Julius Randle giveaway, but the Bucks finally found a landing place for Giannis, and it was the one that most people thought it was going to be, the Miami Heat. They're trading Giannis and Bobby Portis to the Heat for Tyler Hero, who's from Wisconsin, by the way, near the Dells, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, and is it Kasparis Yakashonis?
Close enough for me.
3 first-round picks, including number 13 tonight. 1 pick swap.
Yeah, so the Bucks, I think, now have 10 and 13 tonight.
You got it.
Yeah.
1 pick swap and 1 second rounder. It's breaking news. This was tweeted by Shams and Shefty 18 hours ago, but we knew Giannis was on the move. We knew the Heat were probably the favorite. Boston did some sniffing around, apparently, but he is going to Miami.
Apparently chose the Bucks not to go the route of adding a star player for 2 reasons. One, I guess the age. Brown's not ancient, but the bigger concern might have been they were under the impression already that he wasn't going to sign long-term with them. So, on the other hand, I would look at it as, well, I might take the asset and then turn around and trade him for something else. I look at what they got from Miami, and they got a lot of draft picks, you're right, and they got some interesting young talent, but it's Giannis, man. It feels light to me.
But again, you have to have a dance partner.
You do. But I'm saying I think I might have taken the Celtics offer.
Right.
Brown's not 30 yet, and maybe his people sent out messages saying don't bother because we're not going to stay there. And then you got, well, this is exactly what we're trying to get out of, is that situation where we're under the gun constantly. So maybe that answers it. I just feel like you should get a player out of that thing. Jaylen Brown, he averaged 28-7 last year. Now again, some of that had to do with injury, but he had a very good year. It got a little bit funky late, one could say. So the draft starts at 8 tonight. Right now, we're 33rd, right?
Yes, because we
So is it just
swapped.
round 1? I don't even remember. Is it only round 1
I think it's
tonight?
round 1 tonight and 2 and 3 tomorrow.
So we would have to move back in somehow which is not impossible, although I feel like it's unlikely. So we'll see where that goes.
So 7 o'clock Central tonight. Yeah. Yes, round 1 tonight and then round 2 tomorrow. If you heard me say round 3, I was just talking about NFL. I would just have NFL in the mind.
Well, there is a draft nugget to get to NFL related. You know that, right?
The fact that they're not doing the supplemental draft.
Exactly.
Brendan Sorsby's going to have to wait.
He's either going to have to wait
April.
or sue.
Right, sue the league that he's trying to play.
Yeah, his attorney has been pretty successful. He might feel hot right now, like at a craps table, but and now there's a lot of speculation on, is this the NFL's way of punishing him to an extent? On the other hand, there are other people who say, well, they've never done this before, where they've deprived a player of a chance to do it, even if he has some baggage. It takes any Viking speculation, of course, off the table, because we spent some time on that, whether they would be interested in drafting him. I do think there are teams that were going to. I don't think there's any question about that. But that, barring some reversal, and I don't know what it would be, the league is saying we're not going to have a supplemental draft. So Sorsby, can he go to the Arena League? What's he going to do? Is he going to try it now? Is he going to go back to Texas Tech?
Yeah, maybe they try that route again.
Or a different college.
Right.
Maybe he transfers. Can he transfer again?
Well, I wonder. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Because somebody will say, we'll play him. We don't care. We don't care what anybody says. We'll play him.
Would like a community college or a junior college be able to take
maybe.
him?
I don't know.
Do they have the same rules? I would bet they probably don't.
Not sure.
Last chance you.
Could St. Thomas take him?
Well, they would never do that. St. Thomas.
You don't think they'd lower themselves to the slime like that?
No, that's not how they roll.
Beneath them?
Yes, definitely. The Stars were out last night at Target Field. How about Ohtani gets to town, takes one pitch, and then hits a dong. Buck, though, ties it, right?
Yep.
At one, and then Freddie Freeman hit one as well. I happened to see all three of them, believe it or not. It was
all the
interesting.
dongs?
All the dongs.
What was the hardest hit dong?
Freeman's was pretty good. Was pretty good.
Yeah.
He waved goodbye to it. I thought that was funny. But
35,000 was the announced attendance. It did look more legitimate than a lot of our figures. And it's not, I mean, again, I don't know if it has anything to do with the Twins playing better lately, but it has to have obviously a lot to do
of course,
with the unusual matter of the Dodgers being in town. And our guy is pitching, isn't he pitching tomorrow night? Or tomorrow? I thought he was pitching Game 3 of the series.
Oh, is he?
I think they changed it.
I got thrown off that. Everybody doubted me when I said he might be pitching.
Well, you said he wouldn't be.
No, I said,
you said he would?
Yeah, I said I thought he was going to. And
I could be wrong. I thought
he's listed here for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. That might be a box office draw tomorrow night.
Oh, big time.
Don't you think?
Yeah, well, he already has been. They already have been.
Yeah.
The Twins lost 2-1, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. They are back in action tonight, 6:40, but Lavelle's at the ballpark doesn't think they're going to start on time.
It looks like everything's drenched right now is what it looks like for sure.
Twins game or the Dave Matthews concert at Mystic Lake Amphitheater tonight, both in peril, I would say.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Ticket prices are plunging for Dave Matthews if people were holding out because they were very expensive to begin.
Is this the first event there?
No, there was some other stuff the last few days.
All right.
So we'll see what happens there tonight for Dave.
Were you going to go?
It's on the radar.
Aren't you a big...
Oh, yeah.
Dave Matthews
Child of the 90s? Yeah, you kind of have to be.
Yeah, you kind of have to be.
You kind of have to be. So we'll see. We'll see how the night develops. See what the tickets end up being.
Oh, I see. You're going to pay attention to that pattern.
Absolutely.
That's smart, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The Fan, by the way, has your chance to win $2,500. Enter the keyword birthday at KFAN.com. That's your shot as we're giving away $2,500 now. It's part of the $250,000 cash contest. The keyword for today is birthday. Enter it at KFAN.com.
Some soccer conversation at the bottom of the hour. Another legendary World Cup or soccer big knocker, dominant again today. It's been one of the great features of this tournament, has it not? The big knockers, the historic names who are in some cases either defying time or just continuing their excellence, and that continued today. So we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll kind of mix and match in the segment leading into our Blakemore conversation. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Barrero on The Fan.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts.
Every once in a while, you run into an observation on X that gets you thinking and doesn't necessarily prompt you to lose your mind.
Oh.
Although, in a sense, it did frustrate me. Here it is. I'm going to take it at its, I guess, word for what I guess you could say would be accuracy here. Well, I had it. Now I lost it. Hold on. It'll come to me. Don't forget, we've got plenty of soccer conversation coming up at the bottom of the hour. I'm just going to read this. It's apropos of nothing. It came out of nowhere. I don't even know how you'd fact check it. Germany has more castles than the United States has McDonald's.
What?
Doesn't that sound stunning?
Yes, it does.
Is it accurate? It's the individual who tweeted it. See if I can get the name here. I think it's the Twitter handle is The Culturist. I'm gonna hope that I'm gonna take The Culturist. I mean, cultured. That he or she knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Germany has more castles than the United States has McDonald's. And then there's a photo of one owned by the same family for 33 generations. So how does that work? Like, are there families all over Germany that have just passed down castles? Do they ever become community things? Do people sell them? How does that... Are some of them like now historical locations where people can tour, whatever the case may be? And maybe more importantly, why don't we have more castles?
Here?
Yeah.
We weren't really a castle. We were trying to leave the monarchy in the castles.
We were?
That was kind of our bit 250 years ago.
I don't know if that's held up, really. Here's what I would say. I got nothing against McDonald's.
Yeah.
I'm not a snob when it comes to eating, by any means. I wish we had a few fewer McDonald's and a few more castles.
You would trade.
I just like looking at them.
Oh, they're beautiful.
I know they may represent what you say, but my God, this one's beautiful. The one that he captures is beautiful. And we've some of us have traveled and toured some castles, did that in Ireland last summer. And there's just, again, that's a different world. There's more history there, right?
Yep.
But I'm assuming at this late date, we probably don't have the money to add a few aesthetically pleasing castles throughout the country.
We don't have either. We don't have the patience to build it.
We don't have the patience to build anything that's interesting.
Because you have that stuff, and that's what I've never been to Europe. I'd love to go.
Yeah.
But at the time those castles were built, how they had to be built, and the care and the time and the level of detail.
Oh, my God.
And even like at the top where they never knew eventually there might be like skyscrapers or like a fourth or fifth level or a big apartment building in the village, whatever it is. And the detail on top of some of these castles that they never knew if those people were ever going to see it, but that was the job and they had to do it that way. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We don't have those, though.
Somebody wants to know if I'm conveniently ignoring all the White Castles we have in America.
Good point.
How many is White Castle still? It's not as popular as it once was. How many White Castles do we have in the United States? Would you say? And in the Twin Cities, I know we got one on 7.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that one from my youth.
Yeah,
and Northeast Minneapolis, we had one. That one may have closed. Someone can hit us up right across from the Otter Saloon where you can sing karaoke.
This is from Scott from Green Bay via Eden Prairie. I just learned last week that Germany has the most castles in the world, more than any other country in the world. Cannot verify the McDonald's thing, but maybe believable. I don't know. I mean, I like that kind of architecture, that where there is kind of a sense of history about it, even if it represents for some people, elitism. But I'm afraid that ship has sailed. Do we have any castles in the United States? How many castles do we have in the United States of America?
Starting 2 guard for the Spurs.
Well, that's true. And then we've got, I think we've got one out west. I mean, you could almost describe it as a castle. Who was the big-time newspaper mogul who was then memorialized in the motion picture that is many consider the greatest ever done? Orson Welles did it. It'll come to me in a minute. He built in real life what seemed to be the closest thing. I mean, it was beyond opulent.
Yep.
Right? But had a castle feel to it. That's out west. I think it's in California, if I'm not mistaken. It will.
I think the closest thing we got to castles in the old country, like the old country, would be churches. Our churches kind of have the same.
Yeah,
there's a lot of historic churches.
That's true.
I don't know if we ever went full castle. I'm sure in New England there's got to be something that looks kind of like it, right? There's got to be something.
You think?
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't, off the top of my head. I'm just trying to think.
Yeah.
Like, does Boston have one? Does New York? Does Philly?
Citizen Kane was the film I was thinking of, and of course, the main character played by Orson Welles is Charles Foster Kane, considered to be a kind of a composite on a couple of American media heavyweights, big knockers, William Randolph Hearst and Joseph Pulitzer as well. I think it was Hearst who built. Yeah, it's called the Hearst Castle, in fact.
Okay.
And it is described as a historic estate in San Simeon on the central coast of California. I've never been to it, but it has very much a castle look. It was built between 1919 and 1947. I think now it's a museum that is indeed open to the public. It was the original was a 40,000 acre estate, 63 square miles. Now, it wasn't the castle itself didn't consume all of that location, but it is extremely large and extremely opulent as well. I bet you some people in this audience have been to it.
We have Cinderella's Castle in Disney World. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big one. You're right about that.
So we have the Belvedere Castle. Oh, yeah. In Central Park. Miniature Victorian-style castle.
All right.
Bacon's Castle in Virginia. Loveland Castle in Ohio.
So we have a few.
Yep. Versailles, Kentucky. We've got the Kentucky Castle. That's a hotel now.
I don't remember that one.
And then there's some private castles. Yeah, I'm just going on Wikipedia, basically.
That's not bad.
And, of course, Cinderella's Castle's the first one.
Somebody said, look at Derek Jeter's old house in New York. Has very much a castle look. I don't remember that, but it doesn't surprise me.
Oh, the Belvedere Castle. That's cool.
Looks solid.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Looks special.
When was that built?
La Crosse, Wisconsin has a few castles, somebody's saying.
Near the Dells?
I guess. That's what they're saying. I don't know.
You think they'd promote that? When you're by Tommy Bartlett's water show.
Yeah, the Dells, very special. We have forts. Is Fort Snelling a castle?
No.
I don't think so.
But it
has a little of that look, Not great, but maybe a little bit of that. So, I know it's a pipe dream.
You have Castle Envy.
But I do have Castle Envy. There's no question about it.
With the Wolves and with
Europe. It
puts
it in some kind of scary perspective if indeed we have more McDonald's than castles. And then again, Germany's got some historical issues, that I don't think we want any part of that.
Where's Fox River Grove? Are you familiar with that in Illinois?
I am familiar with but I don't know where it is. I do know in Illinois that exists, but I'm not sure where.
They have the Bettendorf Castle.
Do they?
Yes, built in 1931. That's pretty good. We actually have more castles than I would have thought.
Maybe Culturist. Well, Culturist could still be right, though.
Yeah.
And I think he probably is. Because there's a castle every 15 minutes, apparently, in a lot of Europe.
For sure.
And they do have a nice look to them.
Excalibur Hotel in Las Vegas is listed.
Right. Yeah,
this is like the Dinah Wikipedia.
Pretty much.
We're taking everybody.
Playboy Mansion is basically a castle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's some truth to that. Maybe we got more than I thought. We still don't have enough. But we're not old enough. I guess that's part of the issue, too. According to Google, 218 guy writes there are 152 recognized castles in the United States.
That would make sense. I'm kind of going through all of them. It seems like that's the number.
I'm going to guess, Germany's got more than that by far. How many McDonald's do we have in the United States of America? Do we know that?
Thousands. It's got to be.
In the thousands?
It's got to be.
Could it be in the millions?
No, but that's how many burgers they sold.
Yeah.
They used to have that on the sign.
Remember those signs?
Of course.
4 billion sold. The beauty of it was, how would you know? Who was doing that fact check?
Yeah. Well,
how much of that was fake news?
That was one of my favorite Seinfeld bits. It's like, why is McDonald's still counting?
Yeah.
We're doing very well. That's what
true.
It should say.
All right, let's get our bottom of the hour pause in. Our next guest may not want to talk about castles, but I think he is prepared to talk about a lot of good European soccer teams and maybe a very good one here, up and coming, rising. Next game scheduled for Thursday night for the United States of America. We'll see the strategy that you think Blakemore thinks should be deployed. U.S. has nothing to play for. Do they play it safe, or do they run the risk of losing a little bit of that Ubuntu they had built through 2 games. All of that and your World Cup questions next here on The Fan.
This is Bumper to Bumper with Dan Barrera.
Ronaldo makes World Cup history today, and, well, we'll ask our next guest, Brett Blakemore, to answer this question. I guess I was unaware. He had, I believe, 2 goals today. Portugal just toys with Uzbekistan. 5-0 was the final. So is it fair to say that there were some Ronaldo critics out there who are starting to whisper that the old man doesn't have it anymore? And did he put that criticism to bed? Or does one do that taking on, I think, a fairly overmatched team in Uzbekistan? And good evening.
And good evening. Yeah, it certainly wasn't a great start for him, because you look around the World Cup and all these big names are just scoring goals for fun. Messi scores 3, scores another couple, becomes the all-time scoring leader. Mbappe scores for fun, had a couple. Haaland continues to look like a robot for Norway.
Yes.
And then you see Ronaldo take on the Congo and doesn't really create anything, and they tie, or they draw against the Congo, and you go, well, this is it. And both, the Messi camp, the Ronaldo camp, at the end of the day, they're both, Messi came here, Ronaldo went to the Saudi League, which is very similar in that they'll pay you big money to not really have the pressure of doing much. So the days are past regardless, but I'm sure when he was yelling at the cameras today, I'm back.
I'm back. Yeah.
Well, that meant something to him.
Yeah. Well, we said, I mean, you're into soccer regardless, but again, for the casual viewer, having as many big knockers, big name stars, whether in some cases they're a little long in the tooth or not, that just adds another layer, I think, that draws people in, right? Is that, oh yeah, I've heard of those guys. I can watch that. And quite frankly, some of their exploits have been unbelievable to this point in the tournament. I think that's added to the entertainment value through this round.
We love names. We love stars.
Yeah.
We love seeing the celebrities on the Jumbotron, and when they actually show out and do what they're supposed to do and be superstars, that makes it all the better and makes it an appointment viewing, unless you're England and then your all-star team, can't put one past Papa from Ghana's club. Yeah,
there you go. That explains everything for sure. All right, so do we have any compelling matches tonight? I haven't even looked.
So the not necessarily. You get the other group, the other side of the group of England. So it's Panama and Croatia at 6, and you get Colombia and the Congo at 9. So I mean, I feel like Croatia's they should comfortably. Panama's a little feisty team, but I think Croatia wins that. I think Colombia should win comfortably against the Congo, but they were tough against Portugal. So that's kind of the groups you're dealing with today. Not the greatest World Cup day, but the headline game was that England game that I mentioned earlier. That team is an all-star team by all. I mean, you look at that on paper. That is and somehow, some way, every World Cup they've managed to just not show up at certain points. Whether it's in the knockout stage, they look great in their last game, and they show up against Ghana, who is a very good side. They defend well. They have star players, but on 9 times out of 10, England should beat them handedly, and they couldn't turn out. They didn't have a shot on target for like 55 minutes, and that's what we want to get out of the game.
When are my Spaniards back in action?
That's a great question. They had not too long ago. I mean,
they recovered from their rather unimpressive opening draw, correct?
Well, yeah, they took it to Saudi Arabia. Now, the thing with the Spanish is that they have this young kid, Lamine Yamal, who plays for Barcelona. He's like 19, and he's the next he's the next superstar that everyone's going to be talking about. He didn't start. He had kind of a knock where he wasn't they just didn't want to play him in the first game. Therefore, Spain kind of looks pedestrian. he immediately comes in and scores like 10 minutes in. So that was on Sunday, I think, during worst case scenario, where they just smashed them. So good start for them. I'm not sure when they play off the top of my head.
Gaardsy just looked it up. Yeah, it's Friday against Uruguay, which I actually does jog my memory now. Friday against Uruguay.
And that's a good team.
So what are we going to do? You know, I talked a lot about this yesterday early in the show, and it's the talk of the American soccer community for sure, that the U.S.'s next game Thursday night means nothing on any level, right? We've not only advanced, we've got the top spot. So the debate that has broken out a little bit is, so what do you do with this? Do you pretend that something is at stake? Is that hollow to do? Is it dangerous to do regarding injury? And, of course, yellow card, possible suspensions in the next round. I'm a big believer, if you've developed some Ubuntu, where you feel like you got something going, something's brewing, I get very worried about just mailing it in on the basis of the fact that it technically doesn't mean anything. So is there a way to thread the needle where you do not give it that short a shrift, because you do want to sort of maintain your rhythm of it, but without being reckless and putting yourself in a position where you do run the risk of later, suspension on yellow card concepts or injury as well? What's the Brett Blakemore philosophy on how we should treat the Thursday night game?
Yeah, I mean, while the World Cup is something unfamiliar and foreign to a lot of people, this situation is certainly not. I mean, we see this every year in almost every sport, but the one that jumps out to me is football. Is you're week 18, you're already clinched in the playoffs. Are you going to play Joe Burrow? Are you going to play Patrick Mahomes?
Yep.
Most of the time you don't. And you see a lot of these coaches say, we're not going to risk it. If we want to go to my club, we had a live, 2 years ago, they played everyone in the last game. Christian Watson gets hurt. It becomes a disaster. And then you go into the playoffs hurt and they lose. This past season, they rest everyone against the Vikings, giving you guys that win. They would have shut him out if it had not been for that last second field goal.
Right.
And they still got battered in the playoffs, and they blew a big lead against the Bears anyway. So at the end of the day, does it really matter? It does, but it really just matters how you go at the end of things. To me, my strategy is I would rest him. I wouldn't play anyone with a yellow card. I certainly wouldn't let Christian Pulisic.
No, that probably makes sense. Yeah. Although all the indications continue to be pretty favorable on him, I think, right? It's not like the kind of calf injury we got to worry about in Achilles like we do in basketball, I don't believe. I think he got kicked in the calf, basically, didn't he?
Yeah, he got kicked in the calf a couple times and then was just saying it's tight. I'm not going. But I still can't believe, even now, I can't believe how far it's gone. But I did read from one athletic writers that covers the team that he was practicing with the team again. So I think that's the case. But to me, it's more important to get through it without getting any unnecessary suspensions or injuries. And there are other important guys, like Tyler Adams. If they lose him, they're in trouble. If they lose Chris Richards, they'd be in trouble. Anthony Robinson, they'd be in trouble. So it's not just Pulisic, but there's no sense in getting a dumb yellow card from a bad official that didn't see it fully and just hands out a yellow just because, and now you're suspended a game. So I would say rest him.
So can you help us understand, are we down to there's a couple of teams we could play depending on how this goes? 4 teams? I mean, what can you tell us about who we're going to end up playing once we get to the knockout?
Yeah, so it seems like certainly it looks like Bosnia is the overwhelming favorite for the first matchup, which to me is a very winnable game.
Okay.
They haven't really impressed all that much in the World Cup. They got spanked by the Swiss the other day. But then after that, it gets a little bit murkier. It depends on what happens with Belgium and that group. So it does get murky after that. But I'll say this, obviously they win that group, but the more upsets and weird things that happen, like Belgium drawing 0-0 with Iran, which is crazy, the more that happens, the easier the path will be. But I saw the path being pretty easy a couple days ago.
Is anything happened so far in the World Cup that has fundamentally altered your view on the teams to beat, the teams that you still view as the best teams with the best chance to take home the hardware?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that going back to the England game. And I don't, a lot of people have side countries that they root for of ancestry, or like you with Spain, which is, and I really just don't, but I love to watch England just because it's always dramatic. I'm not really rooting for or against them. Just drama follows them wherever they go. And it happened again today. But I was thinking about that, and Portugal today too. It really just comes down to, there are the blue bloods and there are skill gaps for sure, but can the U.S. go and beat Ghana? I think we can. I think on our day we can beat Ghana, and England just came out and couldn't generate any offense against them. So, but last week they play Croatia, a good team, and they spank them. So it really just, same thing with Portugal. They drew against the Congo. They couldn't produce anything. Ronaldo looked lost. And then again, Uzbekistan is not a world powerhouse by any means, but coming out and winning 5-0 is a big deal. So, and that's putting your stamp on it that you're in good form. So it really just comes down to today. I feel less and these results of they look really good, and Spain too. They look really good one week, then they don't the next. Makes me feel even more confident of like things. It's not an impossible mountain you have to climb. It's things go right and we're on our game. We can compete with anybody. That's kind of how I feel. That's a positive spin zone though.
Are you a fan, as a soccer purist, are you a fan of the, I think now somewhat controversial but fairly popular meat wall strategy on corner kicks and free kicks?
I mean, that's just the game, right?
How would you, so the average Rube who wasn't listening to the show yesterday, can you describe exactly what's meant by that term, the meat wall, what that constitutes, what that's about?
Well, do you mean on like a free kick where they're literally lining up?
Basically lining up in a way that they didn't always, and that like some of the purists, because I saw a headline somewhere like, will Brazil, cave in and use the meat wall because they believe in the beautiful game, and there's something kind of, I don't know, a little bit too uncivilized and not very pretty about this particular tactic, which is really about physicality, right? And trying to put as much meat in a place to kind of harass and mess with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I mean, especially on, on corners but really that's what it comes down to. And when you have that big body and you want to use that, you can think of meat wall on a free kick where you're lining up, but also, we saw it popularized a lot in the Premier League of, on corner kicks specifically, where you just get as many people around the keeper as possible. Goaltender interference, this is what drives me crazy. In hockey, in my favorite sport, if you so much as breathe on the goaltender, it's goaltender interference. Yeah, and we're waving that goal back. And if you see a corner kick and it's coming in and the goalkeeper tries to jump up and get it, they can just get bodied out of the way and it play on. And then what you'll hear people in the media say is, goalkeeper's got to come out stronger. He's got to come out even more physical to get the ball. It is insane. I actually wish they would go to a hockey thing because that just makes more sense in my head that you got to let the goalkeeper do his job. So that's become popularized in the Prem, especially of we're just going to make it dirty and be physical because we're bigger than you and we can. And they get rewarded for it. It's incentivized. Kind of like the fun.
When the connection matters, it has to be AT&T.
Whoa, a little commercial action. We're not done with you yet. Let me ask you about, I'm looking at, so what the Athletic does in their World Cup coverage is, I think after every day or through each day, they sort of re-rank their 48 World Cup teams, right? Ooh. So I want to get your reaction to some of that. For example, they have France number 1. The FIFA ranking is 3. They put them, and again, they change this depending on whatever happens a given day. They've got France number 1. They have Argentina 2. Argentina has a FIFA ranking of 1, right? They've got Germany 3. They've got your England club 4. And they have Spain 5. Would you quibble with any of those right now on the basis of what you have seen to this point?
I really wouldn't.
Or re-rank them.
Well, I think that's more or less. I mean, that's the 4 out of the 5 blue bloods that you're probably going to see there. And shocker, 1 and 2 were the last World Cup's final with Argentina and France. But they do look like the strongest team. Speaking of all-star teams, France is definitely one. But when you look at Germany 3, that's the one that kind of piqued my interest. The U.S. played a game against Germany like 3 weeks ago. They were the better team that day. They had the majority of the ball. They gave up some silly goals, 2 of them, but they could have easily won that game. And that's a World Cup tune-up game. It's not,
Yeah.
And again, they subbed out a lot of guys the second half. That's how it goes. That's how these build-up games, you want to see as many people as possible. But they were just as good as them. So my biggest takeaway from that rankings is, yeah, that sounds right, but we were right with the number 3 team less than a month ago, and we were playing right with them. So I think to me, that's my American spin zone of like, well, we're not that far away.
Let's get to that. I'll give you the next 5. They've got Netherlands 6. They've got Brazil 7. They've got Morocco 8. And then they have the United States 9, which they say the FIFA ranking for the U.S. is 17, but they have moved U.S. into the top 10. Now, here's the key question I think that really casual fans are asking. Have you seen enough in the promising start to say that, again, depending on draw and so forth, that the U.S. actually has a much better chance than people might have thought going into this event to win it, to actually win it? Or is that too pie in the sky for you?
That they have a better chance to win the whole shebang?
The whole deal.
I think they almost certainly have a better chance to win the whole. Now it's still low.
You still think it's low overall, though, compared to several of those teams? Yeah, okay.
Well, I think they have a really, really good chance to make it at least to the quarterfinals, if not the semis. But once you get to the quarterfinals, now we're playing those top 5 teams that you're talking about. Now, especially if you get to the semifinals, you're really going to have to pull a huge upset and probably beat an England or a France or an Argentina to get there. So, but the chances of making a run, that is greatly improved, especially from winning the group, especially from how some of the other stuff is breaking down. That's huge. The one name that kind of threw me off was Morocco as a win and a draw. To me, and they drew against Brazil. So they're a good side for sure, but I think we could probably hop over them. But Australia, they didn't really try to attack at all, and we bossed the game, and then they just crushed Paraguay. So I don't know. I could play the we're getting disrespected card because we love to play that card, but I think the chances of winning it all are not any slightly better. The chances of making a deep run are drastically better.
A couple texts. This is from Tim out of Deep Haven. Dan, rest the players. The first knockout round game should be very winnable. Will be a number 3 seed from another bracket. Use that game to get your Ubuntu back. By the way, I was at the Spain game on Sunday. Yamal is the most electric athlete I've seen in person since Randy Moss. Every time he touches the ball, he made an impactful play, and the entire stadium was abuzz. Very fun to watch. Mo from Wrigleyville in Chicago. Dan, even though I'd like us to play all of our stars, I'd rather be safe and not play any of the players who currently have yellow cards and could potentially miss the round of 32. He is from formerly of Uptown, now living in the greater Wrigleyville area. So it sounds like you agree basically with both of them. You're not worried about losing Ubuntu by sitting people or being really cautious in that game on Thursday night.
It's not that I'm not worried about it. It's just I'm more worried about, how could we, if there was a situation where the Wolves are clinched in their playoff spot, but Anthony Edwards, if he gets one more technical foul, he's going to be suspended for game 1 of the playoffs. Do you play Anthony Edwards in that last game just in case the mouth starts running and the adrenaline starts flowing? I probably wouldn't. So, and you've got 4 or 5 guys that are in that situation where they have yellow cards and you don't want them to get any more. So, and then of course Pulisic goes without saying. I think you agree with me. He doesn't.
Yeah, that you can't. Yeah, you can't probably mess with that. Or I don't know. Maybe depending again what the medical report is, maybe you play him a little. I don't know, just to get his sea legs back. I'm not sure because there's so much time in between. One other text. We asked Blakemore if one of our yellow card guys gets a second and has to miss a game. does he start over with Cards again? You start over, right? I mean, you can get suspended, but then from that point forward, you're starting over in the next round. Is that not the way I understand it?
I believe that is the case, but they have changed some rules. Like they changed the tiebreakers in like a shadow change with the new format. It's like, oh, by the way, it's not goal differential that's king. It's head-to-head now. So they have changed the way that things are played, but that's my understanding is that it does reset.
All right. That's a good roundup. Very good to sort of update us once again, and maybe we'll check. I don't even know if there's going to be a need to check in after the Thursday game, given there's so little on the line at that point. And then do you know the delay after that when we would play our first knockout game?
I just saw that.
Wednesday, July 1.
You mentioned that the other day. That's right. Wednesday, July 1st. So, what's the date today? Today's 23rd, so it's not that far off. Yeah.
A week from tomorrow.
Yeah, that ain't bad. Well, go ahead.
It's July 1st, then July 6th for the round of 16, July 10th for the quarters.
Oh, Blakemore is booking it.
Yeah, July 14th for the semis and July 19th for the final.
Yeah.
Blakemore's booking it.
Well,
I just declare it?
Well, you kind of hinted at it. I mean, to me, again, and I guess this is the way it's supposed to work in tournaments, that I really am glad. I think in other World Cups, I've tried to get into it, but I've tended to wait to see where it goes. This year, I've actually been in it from the beginning. And I think the advantage is obvious to that is that then if you start investing early as a casual person, then you see it. It builds. And you go, God, you see various teams, the ones you like, and then you start, projecting this team against that team. So I think there's actually a great advantage to paying attention to the early round games. Plus, we've had some entertaining games. We've had some blowouts. We've obviously had a lot of scoring. That's another thing we've talked about a couple times. And I think a high level of scoring compared to most World Cups. And again, I think the crowds have been good, right? The atmosphere has been good. I think the play-by-play I've seen largely, I think this is either on Fox that they put either on 9 or they put on, I've got DirecTV 219, that Fox Sports channel. You tell me what you think. I think that the coverage, certainly the play-by-play and color analysis for me has been very good and very entertaining.
I think the coverage has been really good. I think overall this World Cup, there are things that could be fixed for sure. The ticket prices, things like that, travel, parking. That's stuff that stinks, and we don't like that. Having commercial breaks, no fun as well, and that's a FIFA made those hydration breaks, but Fox said, here, let's throw in some commercials and make some cash. But the pit, everyone thought the fields would be an issue because 9 times out of 10 when you see, a soccer team play at US Bank Stadium, they throw on patches of grass and there's 500 little different patch sections and they fall apart, they fall at the seams, it stinks. Well, there's been no problems with that. They've been beautiful. The stadium's been beautiful. Seeing all the videos and TikToks and tweets of Europeans coming over to America and saying, it isn't half bad over here. I can't believe you got a Costco that's as big as 3 football fields.
Free refills on pop and coffee.
There you go.
There's Japanese fans coming over that go to Mexican restaurants and deny the free chips and guac that you get because they haven't earned it. I mean, this is just fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's that part of the World Cup and the cultural get-together is fantastic, but people learning that, the news is not all that New York is not all that America is, and New Yorkers or LA or Vegas, you can go to Oklahoma and have a great American experience. That to me is almost the best part of the World Cup, is seeing that online. We've got plenty of those good stories.
Good update. We appreciate you. We'll either chat later this week or early next. Thanks, man. And I'll see you. I'm back on Sunday. Are you on this week, Sunday?
Yes, sir.
Outstanding. And then Worst Case is back again this Sunday, too, coming up?
That's the plan. Yeah, Worst Case is back. It's podcastable now.
Beautiful.
Do you have any soccer podcasts going on, Nordo and Lavelle, or did you just do the preview?
I believe scheduling those two turns out harder than it seems.
They've both got their hands full.
Yeah,
they do. I believe we're going to record tomorrow, so that's the 10th.
Do we have a catchy name for your podcast?
We do. It's Stars and Strikers. That's the name
I like
of it.
Stars and Strikers.
It is. I think that's a brilliant name.
It's perfect. Yeah.
So it's on the free iHeartRadio app. It will be hopefully tomorrow afternoon at some point.
Beautiful. We'll talk soon. Thanks, man.
Sounds good.
Brett Blakemore, excellent work being our official World Cup correspondent for the Bumper to Bumper program in 2026.
You're listening to Barrero on the Fan.
From the 1-800 Ask Gary Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Gens Ryan Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
I guess watching video, this one from a Twitter handle called NBA Cobwebs. June 23, 2005, the Spurs defeat the Pistons 81-74. Game 7 of the NBA Finals to win their third NBA championship in 7 seasons. And it's the post-game celebration. Pop says a few words, and then it's David Robinson, I think, and then Tim Duncan. And then the video plays out, and then what happens is now, then something else shows up, and I guess it's all true that, they figure out what you want to watch, because now almost every time I let a video like that run out, the next video is the best of Don Rickles. And the problem is I can't stop then. Once I start watching these Don Rickles medleys, I can't stop watching them.
This is sick because the same exact thing happened to me today.
Today, yeah.
Don Rickles.
Don Rickles.
The 9 things, and he's got David Letterman and Julia Roberts.
Yes.
You don't have any lines, sweetheart. Just sit there.
Yes.
Like, oh, I'm with you.
Denzel Washington. He's is next to him on that. Was that with Letterman?
That was
Letterman. Yeah. It's and then I can't stop.
I know. I ignored my children to watch that today.
We had Rickles on once, correct?
We did.
Was he appearing? It must have been appearing.
I think he was at Mystic Lake.
Yeah.
I think he was at Mystic Lake.
It was the classic challenge with Rickles. He was very good. He was very gracious, and he was interesting, but he wasn't doing the bit.
That's it.
And you sort of want him to do the bit, but you don't want to be the rube. Hey, what, Rickles? Why don't you start taking some shots at me? Because how many times does he have to be on?
Yep.
But he was very good, yeah. And it's just kind of funny that and so for me, that becomes the rabbit hole. Is instead of continuing to read a book, then I get down that rabbit hole, and I could stay on it for an hour.
That's what they want.
Of Rickles highlights,
yes.
Or Tonight Show highlights. It could be. It doesn't have to always be Rickles. I got to think. I'll find it during this break. There was a Carson one that's infamous that I may have even saved that isn't Rickles related, but and then some of the best are Rickles with Sinatra.
Yes.
Because he's the one guy, Rickles was the one guy who could just destroy Sinatra, and he'd sit there and laugh his ass off.
He loved it.
Yes, he loved every bit of it, which is amazing in of itself.
I had the same impression I thought we literally had the same experience, because I watched the video and we had him on, and I was sitting there on the edge of my seat just like, I just want him to be on. And he was good. He talked about all of his career and his history, and obviously it was fun. But you felt like, I kind of wanted him to rip somebody.
Yeah, right.
But you're right. You can't, Jolie Molinaro, who does all that stuff. Mm-hmm. When we had him on, he sent me a note after and said, I appreciate Dan not just winding me up and making me do a bunch of impressions, because that's what everybody does. Yeah. And which, of course, that's what everybody wants.
Everybody wants,
Dave Matthews tonight, they know they got to play Ants Marching or All Along the Watchtower. Play some of your new stuff. We're happy for you, but we want to see the best of what's around too. But Rickles, I could do the same thing.
The same thing happened, although he's a different kind of performer, is when we had Bob Newhart. Yeah. And it was the same. That Newhart obviously never did the Rickles shtick, but he had a comedy act. And instead it was just more, a little bit more him trying to sort of laying out some things. Also a lot of fun. By the way, according to researcher Bruce, there are approximately 333 to 345 White Castles remaining in the United States, somewhere between 14 and 17 in Minnesota, and approximately 13,851 McDonald's in the United States. In the state of Minnesota, his research indicates we have between 218 and 220 McDonald's. Yeah.
I wonder how many of those I've been to in my life, because I'm one of us.
Yeah.
And I travel.
Yeah, that's true.
I get around the state.
Yeah.
I bet I've been to half of them.
100, you think?
I bet I've been to half of them.
That's possible.
Maybe a quarter.
Here's the other thing
maybe 50.
that several texters are indicating. They're saying that we ain't got no castles in Minnesota. We got some structures that have been compared to castles but really aren't.
Right.
And that we're basically the most castle-free state in America. Is that true? And why would that be? What do we have against castles?
We're not that showy. We're a humble people.
Is that what it is?
Don't build more than you need.
Oh, yeah. Practical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except on the lakes.
Yeah, well,
or in Edina.
Yeah.
There's some castles in Edina.
Yeah.
They're just not called that.
There might be some truth to that. Let me get to one other text. Here's another guy said I had the Don Rickles real. Well, then maybe it just gets built in, baked in for everybody on a given day. I don't know how that works. Opportunity missed, according to Oldsmobile guy, for Blakemore Nordo Lavelle soccer podcast title. Dead Rubber Boys. That's true. The Dead Rubber Boys would be outstanding name for a soccer podcast. We were chatting about that yesterday. The Dead Rubber defines a game that has no meaning in the standings in terms of moving forward, seeding, all of that stuff. That's what a dead. And you said it applies to tennis too, correct?
Yes, and like Davis Cup, Fed Cup, when it's best of 5 and someone's already clinched, they still play on Sunday.
Dead Rubber Boys is that is a
so
good
here's
idea.
what they do in tennis. It's kind of funny actually that the U.S. if Blakemore gets his way, they might do it. Especially if like you win a championship or like a semifinal, the Davis Cup in the old school, and you like Andy Roddick would beat somebody on a Saturday, or the doubles team would win. And then they had to be 2 matches the next day. Well, a lot of times, like the 5th or 6th guy would have to go out and play, but they wouldn't tell them until like if they won the tie, they'd all go out and get hammered. Like the U.S. won, I think in Portland, won the Davis Cup. It was a big deal, and they all went out. And at like 4 a.m, the story is Andy Roddick turned to like Bob Bryan of the Bryan brothers, like, "Hey, you're playing the Dead Rubber tomorrow," and he could do it. Because he's Andy Roddick.
Yeah, who's going to argue with him?
But that's what they would do. They would just like punk you on the Dead Rubber.
Beautiful.
And take you out all night drinking and then go, by the way, you got to go play in front of 19,000 people hungover.
Let's do this. Let's take one more pause. We'll give you some highlights from a very busy program today that included, some hockey trade rumor conversation with Luigi, who also confirmed that he, once upon a time, did what allegedly Tim Conley did in trading Julius Randle, traded away a hockey player, to clean out the locker room. He didn't name the player, but there were some interesting details on that, so stay tuned.
Bumper to Bumper with Dan.
Pressure, commercial-grade pressure washer since 1975.
It's the Bumper to Bumper show wrap.
Good conversations today with Johnny Athletic giving us some bonus time in the wake of the big Julius Randle news that broke last night and the draft tonight, which the Wolves might not be a part of because right now they have the 33rd pick. They could always move up to get into round 1, or they could end up using that pick, the 33, as an asset. I don't rule that out yet. Brett Blakemore with a very nice primer on the latest developments in the World Cup and how the U.S. might best prepare for the Dead Rubber game match, I guess I should say, Thursday against Turkey. Turkey. I'm going to get it right one of these times.
Why did they change that? Do we know?
I don't know if it was just more, this is considered more authentic by the country itself, by the people. It's from a language standpoint. I'm not sure. Luigi gave us some time at 3:30 to talk about some options for your favorite hockey team, and he did confirm that he wouldn't name the player, but he did trade a player, he said, who he viewed as a disruptor in the locker room, that it does indeed can be an issue and can permeate a locker room. You were lauded, I didn't mention this to you earlier, for your Sam Mitchell impression.
Yeah, right.
There was an individual who said they could go on listening to that for a half hour. So something to think about for, routine or a podcast, just you with your best Sam Mitchell impression, which I think is a good one.
Well, you just have to go, think about this.
Yeah.
Think about this, Dan.
Yeah.
Dan. And then just go lower, Dan.
Yeah.
How are they going to cut that reflecting pool with a knife? 350 feet, Dan.
I think he talked about the Straits of Hormuz, as Sam Mitchell might have brought it up.
I basically just went to the Wall Street Journal homepage to find my A section. What would Sam Mitchell have been talking about?
Very, very true, Davey. And I think those cover the major bases today. Tomorrow is a Kessler day. Louis was 3:30, by the way. Johnny 4:30 for the podcasters, and Blakemore at 5:30. Tomorrow's a Kessler day, correct?
Yeah.
And I think that's it right now.
Right now.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Move some things around. We'll see. I may have a couple of inspirations before we are indeed we're preparing for tomorrow's program.
Do you think any NBA general managers got drunk last night, made a trade, and one of them forgot what the terms of the deal were?
That's still the best.
Lou Nanne told us a couple of weeks ago.
Still the best.
What a story.
He couldn't remember the trade, the terms of the trade that he made.
And the other GM didn't correct him.
Exactly.
It's the best.
It's so
the National Hockey League
to not be true. In Minnesota, we call them mansions instead, less pejorative than castles. Does that feel less? Yeah, less. I'm not sure to say.
Well, I know we call.
I think mansion's pretty elitist.
Mansion's elitist. McMansion is the big thing.
Condescending and patronizing.
To bring both of them. To bring both of our topics together, the McDonald's and the castles.
Do we have World Cup action tonight?
No.
No.
On the fan, no.
No.
We do U.S. We're America first.
Oh, we do. Okay.
Yeah. We'll have Thursday night and then next Wednesday.
No other trades announced?
Haven't seen
any. Moment?
No.
You don't think?
That's the other funny thing about tonight. Tim Conley presumably will meet the media and can't say anything about the Randall deal because it's not official until July 6th.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
And so they talk to him, and they might not even do anything tonight. So maybe he won't be made available.
Maybe
I don't know.
That's the way to do it. Almost, what's the point?
But even if they draft a guy, you just can't do anything.
Well, you can talk about that, can't you?
The draft, you could,
guy,
yes.
Yeah.
But
if they end up with
any deal, you can't talk about.
But again, right now we don't have a number one, so we'd have to be moving back in. So there might be no reason for him to meet with the Jackals tonight.
Matt Lloyd, come on up.
Very true. That's also true. And Mike and Nori, we hardly knew you. How about that? A 1-year contract. That's I'm not going to judge Micah because I think, as Johnny told us, the former Wolves assistant felt like I got to take the chance because I don't know when I'm going to get the next one. Because he was up for a lot of jobs.
He was.
Didn't get any of them,
including the Knicks. Bulls and the Knicks he interviewed for.
So on the other hand, I know it's a bad precedent because it's unprecedented in this league. But I'm not going to tell somebody not to do it. I'm not going to judge. I won't do that. I can't be in that person's position. He may have enough confidence in himself to say, bring it on. I know what we're going to be able to do. But it is highly unusual anymore for that sort of I don't even know, like I said, that contract existed before.
Dusty May probably got like a 7-year deal.
No question. To leave, yeah. Now, he was, in a position where he's already a head coach. That's the advantage. And Portland can say, hey, we got